Bengals training camp starts next week. Which players are we sleeping on? I just snored, and we're going to break it down right now on Enter the Jungle. Hi again, everyone, and welcome into Enter the Jungle. I'm James Rapien. He is Andrew Fox Miller, and you can catch us every single Tuesday at 8 Eastern on the YouTube channel Cincinnati Bengals Talk, also weekly on FanDuel Sports Network. We're brought to you by Garage Beer and Lakespur Marketing. And let's dive into what is essentially our final show, Andrew, before training camp. Now, next Tuesday, training camp won't have started yet, but we will have heard from Mike Brown. We will have heard from Zach Taylor. Players will have reported, at least most of them, and training camp eve will be here when we're live on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. And it's wild times. We've covered a lot of things over the past few months. Football's here. And that means it's time to dive into some under the radar candidates, some sleepers, some players that might end up being difference makers for the 2025 Cincinnati Bengals that we haven't talked about a lot. We talk about Joe Burrow. We talk about Jamar Chase. We talk about Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart and a lot of other guys. But who do you think we are sleeping on the most right now with training camp less than a week away?
There are so many players on this team that we're just waiting to break out, but we've talked about them because we're waiting for them to break out. They've got the talent, they've got the ceiling, so on and so forth. A name that I do not hear a lot of that is, I think, going to get a good amount of playing time on this team right now for 2025 is Oren Burks. I mean, this guy played out of his mind in the postseason last year. High caliber athlete that's gotten much needed development. He's a decade into the league essentially. And he's being paid like a rotational guy. Pretty much, we assume, as the third linebacker on the team. We thought that with Jermaine Pratt, and we could think that now. Demetrius Knight getting all the attention he's getting, and rightfully so. But Knight could struggle early on or later on. Or Oren Burks could just get a lot of playing time and really benefit this defense under Al Golden. So yeah, I think Oren Burks is up there for me.
I like it. I like the Oren Burks pick because, one, he's your Demetrius Knight insurance if Knight isn't ready to go. And I do think that Knight is poised to start. But if not, you have Oren Burks. Two, he's there to replace a guy, Nakeem Davis-Gaither, who's under the radar. I love Nakeem Davis-Gaither. You talk about a guy who's an adult, whose coach's son, came in right away, found his role, and continued to develop, continued to get better. That's been Oren Burks as well. And you're right. He stepped up big for the Eagles last season. There's no reason why he can't be a big part of what the Bengals do. Maybe he makes a big interception or a big play in coverage or a big play when those one-score games, so many of which, especially earlier in the year last year, the Bengals lost. Well, they need to win some of those games. These games go down to the wire. We know that. They know that. Everyone knows that. The Bengals are going to be in most games when they have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. And so on the other side of it, you need someone that's going to step up and multiple guys that can make the play that you need to be made. Oren Burks is certainly one of those. I think another one, and it's interesting coming from me, because if it were me and up to me, I'm not sure he would even be on the team right now. But are we sleeping on the possibility that Gino Stone could turn it around? Are we sleeping on the possibility that with Jordan Battle, and maybe this is sleeping on the safeties in general, because I think Jordan Battle really fits this criteria. Sleeping on the possibility, though, that Gino Stone does regain his form from 2 years ago in Baltimore, isn't as much of a liability from a tackling standpoint. He's never going to be a great tackler. It's just not. I don't think he's going to be. Fine. But if he can give you that ball hawking ability on the back end, and Jordan Battle is a guy that can tackle, that can be that box safety to a large extent, I believe that. Are we sleeping on the idea that this could be a solid 1-2 punch on the back end? This team hasn't recovered from losing Jesse Bates. It gets brought up. It's been talked about a lot, even by us this offseason. Do you buy that? Are you buying? I know this isn't buy or sell, but do you buy that the safeties that we might be sleeping on them a little bit, or is this pre-training camp optimism that I'm drinking a little of the Kool-Aid right now?
Yeah, no, I think I was very high on Gino Stone heading into last season. We all know how the season went. I could be optimistic that he would bounce back. For me, at least, I don't know about everybody else, but for me, with Gino Stone, it's more of, oh yeah, we don't need to talk about that right now. It's kind of like burying trauma a little bit. That'll work itself out. But to be fair, Gino Stone, of anyone in that secondary, he's established. There aren't many of those on this defense as far as established players. Oren Burks, you could argue, is established as far as being a veteran. But Gino Stone isn't someone that we're waiting to reach his potential. We saw what he could reach, unlike Dax Hill, unlike DJ Turner, speaking to the overall secondary, of course. So Gino Stone, I expect him to improve this year. Absolutely.
He better.
Exactly.
He better.
Exactly.
I've been very critical of them keeping Gino Stone, but it could work out. I don't think, on paper, I don't think he's a perfect fit for Al Golden. Fine. It doesn't mean that you can't make it work. I think that they're going to try to make it work. It better work, and Gino better put himself in position to make it work. I do think Jordan Battle qualifies for this, though. And yeah, you could look at Bengals. You know, if you look at the right corners of social media, there are some Battle believers, but it's not like he's someone that's getting some national praise and a guy that's going to come in and right the ship. This is his year. We've talked a lot about Miles Murphy and how he needs to show it, or Joseph Osai, or some of these guys. Jordan Battle has been given the car keys here, and he needs to start that car and put the pedal to the metal. And that starts with coming into camp in shape. Last year, he didn't come into camp in shape. That is certainly something that he needs to do. I think he works hard. I think he's a really good kid. I think he does the right things. I think he's responsible for the most part. You know what? Show it by showing up in shape, ready to go and hit the ground running. There's no veteran ahead of you. There's no one you're competing with for the starting job. So there's no reason to look over your shoulder. You need to look full speed ahead and be a plug-and-play starter. That's what the Bengals essentially thought they were getting a couple of years ago when they drafted him, even though he didn't need to be plug-and-play. They thought he was a veteran that would come in right away and do all the right things because of what he did at Alabama. Even though he was a rookie, they literally thought he had veteran leadership and all of those. Now you got to show it, because you are one of those guys in the secondary that needs to establish a tone, establish a culture, and establish the new Bengals way under Al Golden. Another one, because you mentioned him, I'm just going to combine it here and get off the safeties. It is DJ Turner.
Sure.
I'm the biggest Dax Hill believer. I've shouted it from the mountaintops. I think a lot of people have talked about Dax Hill. DJ Turner is absolutely a sleeper, because it felt like he was coming on toward the end of last season. He had a great rookie camp. By the way, his rookie training camp, his first training camp, I was like, man, this dude, he's got it. And then by mid-rookie year, you could see that the receivers that had some size on him figured it out and figured out how to win at the catch point and all of those things. Okay, well, last year it felt like he was figuring it out, and then he broke his collarbone. We'll see now if he can put it together. I liked the DJ Turner pick at the time. I understood it. There's a lot to like about his ability, his speed, his knack for the ball, his ability to make plays on the ball. Doesn't have great size, but he's someone I think is going under the radar, a little bit of a sleeper, because if he does play well, it's going to bring some stability to that secondary, which, of course, is full of question marks right now.
Yeah, and I could probably just list defensive player after defensive player. TJ Slayton reuniting with Jerry Montgomery. I feel like not enough people are talking about him and what he could bring to this defense, so on and so forth. I just want to quickly flip to the offense, because I feel like we don't have enough of those. Yeah, there's Jermaine Burton. People talk about him. One kind of interesting one, and I'm not saying it's my pick. I just want to throw it out there. Zack Moss. People aren't really talking about him. Chase Brown rightly gets to the conversation. Samaje Perine coming back to Cincinnati. People are talking about that, sure. But people almost forget that Zack Moss is still on this roster. It wouldn't surprise me if he contributes a lot to this offense and people don't really see it coming.
Health is obviously a factor with Zach. We don't know where that neck injury is. We do know it was serious. We do know, obviously, he missed all of last season. As of now, I don't believe he's been cleared. Hopefully he does get cleared. You know why? And maybe this is hot take alert. I agree with you on the sleeper part of it. There's a very real possibility that he's your second best running back this year.
Sure.
If he's healthy, he can be Samaje Perine. I know a lot of people are down on him. Go watch the Carolina touchdown again, where he catches the ball and there is no reason why he should score. and he scores. Otherwise, the half runs out. Joe Burrow thanked him in quarterback, if you watch that. Zack Moss can play. He was a nice safety valve, had a real nice catch against the Chiefs on the sideline that went for like 18 yards. Like, he fits what the Bengals do. Quality pass protector. We'll see on his health. But could we look up 8 weeks into the year and be like, oh, well, Zack Moss and Chase Brown are your backs? We could. Like, he could outplay Samaje Perine. That wouldn't shock me. Now, I would certainly love Taj Brooks to be in the mix. 6th round pick, we'll see from him, but would not shock me if Zack Moss is in the mix. Those are some sleepers for sure. I'm going to give one more.
Okay.
It's because we didn't hit the offensive trenches. I'm going to say Jalen Rivers. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if Jalen Rivers is in the mix here for significant playing time this season. Because I think he's going to be the first offensive tackle off the bench. If they really gave him a chance, I think he could make a play for guard in a starting guard spot. Matt Lee is in that mix as well, I would say. And yet, here we are. I don't think either one is necessarily competing for a starting job, but maybe I'm wrong. And in a couple of weeks from now, we'll be having a different conversation. From sleepers to the main man, Joe Burrow. He was ranked really, really high, according to NFL coaches, executives, and GMs. But where did he rank in the latest quarterback rankings? And is it too high or too low? We will discuss that coming up next. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Fox-Miller. I'm James Rapien, and it is officially ranking season. More on that in just a second, but today's segment brought to you by Lakespur Marketing, and Lakespur Marketing is going to eliminate waste. So you're getting the most out of your budget. They have more than 100 years of experience. Trust the experts. Trust Lakespur Marketing. The proof is in their partners. Visit lakespurmarketing.com. And Andrew, it is ranking season. Joe Burrow came in third on ESPN's annual quarterbacks ranking list. He was second last year. This year comes in at third. Patrick Mahomes first, Josh Allen second, and then Lamar Jackson fourth. What's your reaction to see Joe Burrow third on the list, especially when he was second last year?
I mean, it kind of aligns with what we talked about in the past of where we would rank Joe Burrow. It's almost like the default. Patrick Mahomes, number one, although it does indicate that maybe he's potentially slipping on these rankings. We'll see, of course, after this upcoming season. I think it's more of a reflection of Josh Allen's play this past season. It's almost like you're 2A, 2B, 2C. I'm sure people are so mad about the Lamar Jackson. And number 4.
Yeah, they I'm sure they are. And there were people that are. I actually think that all three of those guys, Allen, Burrow, and Jackson, were all better than Mahomes last year. And
sure,
that might be a take to some. It's really not. And look, it doesn't shock me that Burrow is third. I would take him over Lamar, and I love Lamar. I would take him over Lamar because I just think his play style fits. You can do a lot with Joe. Like, they do it this way because of the receivers they have, but you can do a lot of different things. With Lamar, I think you do have to play a certain way, a run-first way. He was super efficient as a passer last year, but he's not Joe, right? And that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just a different style quarterback, just like Josh Allen is. But Joe Burrow is more efficient, more effective than any of those guys. And he's doing it, I would say, with less. And people say, oh, well, wide receiver. And we're going to talk about Jamar Chase in a minute. Yeah. All right. So he has great wide receivers. And then, it's the dude, where's my car? And then, like, what else? Do you think he's got the best head coach out of those? Do you think he's got the best offensive coordinator out of those? Do you think he has the best offensive line, best front office? But no, it begins and ends with the receivers. And then the conversation goes toward all those other guys. So it doesn't shock me that he's third. I made the argument a few weeks ago on this show that he's first. He would be first for me. He was better than Patrick Mahomes last year. Disagree. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But I do think that these are the big four. And however you want to order them, you can make cases for all four. After these four, no one else is close. Maybe that changes this year, but these are the big four. I think we can agree there. If there's a Mount Rushmore going into the 2025 season, these are the four guys that are on it.
And not to get in deep with the overall list, but Jaden Daniels, now top 5 based on this list. Number 5, if we're going off of potential, I don't know. Look, Burrow was he was number 2 and he had missed most of 2023 or a good chunk of 2023 with his wrist injury. What is it going to take for him to move up the rankings in this scenario? I try not to dwell on it too much. I don't know every individual that's voting on these, but it is interesting to see the fluctuation, and Burrow played out of his mind last year.
How he gets to number 1 is simple. Win MVP and win the Super Bowl.
No doubt.
Like if he does that, there's no, it's over.
Yeah.
He leapfrogs Mahomes. He leapfrogs out, because it's not who's better, who has the better resume. It's who's better right now. In Joe Burrow right now, from last season, going from last season into this season, he played better than Mahomes. But I get not dethroning Mahomes because he didn't even make the postseason. Patrick Mahomes was in the Super Bowl. So I totally get it and understand it. I also expect the Chiefs to be better this year. So if you're Joe, the path to number 1, it's pretty simple. MVP, Super Bowl. I don't even know if you need Super Bowl MVP. I just think if you win a Super Bowl and you get league MVP, that's enough. Obviously, he would be the favorite there. Regardless, though, you win a ring, it's going to go a long way toward that.
Unless you're Jalen Hurts.
Well,
number 9.
Yeah. Joe Burrow would go undefeated with that Eagles roster.
I understand.
Undefeated. If they switch places, Joe and Jalen, and the Eagles beat the Bengals 37-17, that game would have been 65-7. 65-7. Man, Jamar Chase probably wouldn't like that. T. Higgins probably won't like that. Most of the Bengals won't like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's true. I don't think it would have been that close. Speaking of that, though, let's discuss Jamar Chase, who made some interesting comments about possibly coming to a screen near you. Could Jamar Chase be coming to a screen near you? Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Fox-Miller. I'm James Rapien. And the Bengals star wide receiver, well, he said he would be open to doing a quarterback-style show, much like Joe Burrow did, the 7-episode season 2 of Netflix's Quarterback. What's gotten a lot of attention over the past few weeks. And Netflix, Andrew, did do wide receiver a couple of years ago that featured some of the game's biggest stars at wide receiver and tight end, including Davante Adams. How excited would you be if Jamar Chase signed up for season 2 of wide receiver?
I mean, of course I'd be for it. Give me as much Bengals content as I can get. I will mention, though, I need Jamar, whatever spotlight he's looking for, let's invest it with Netflix and wide receiver in this case. I don't need him doing what he's doing out there with his self-made videos. You know what I'm talking about, James. With the
my goodness.
With the speeding and making me nervous.
What? All right. First off, I would love to see him on wide receiver. I would love to see that. By the way, if I'm Netflix, I would alternate for a little bit because you have some big high-end quarterbacks, and maybe they already landed quarterbacks for season 3. I have no idea. Right? Maybe because Joe did it, then Lamar's going to do it, or one of these other guys, because you've had Mahomes and you've had Joe. You need one of the heavy hitters in each of these shows. That's not Jared Goff. That's not Kirk Cousins. That's not Marcus Mariota. So you get one of these heavy hitters, and then you can go lower end as well. Mid-tier. You can get a Baker Mayfield, and then you can get honestly, Cam Ward would be fun as a rookie. I'm not sure a rookie would ever sign up for it. Or you space it out. You go with wide receivers right now, and I would love it. I would love to see Jamar out there.
He's certainly got the personality for it.
No doubt. He's more than just this physically gifted freak. Like he's such a smart football player. And I've covered a lot of high-end receivers. I'm not sure there are any that also have the high-end talent that are as football smart as Jamar. And I think that matters. And I covered AJ Green, just to be clear. I would put Chad in this category, even though I never covered him. I don't think, like from a professional coverage standpoint, obviously is what I'm saying. But I don't think that that those guys are on par football IQ wise and ability to move all over the field wise, like Jamar. And so I think that part would be interesting if you discuss the mental aspect of it. And it might be as simple as he just gets it. Like there might not be anything else behind it. He's just that intelligent. But it is interesting nonetheless.
Regardless, they need to have a winning record because if Jamar ever makes it on a show like wide receiver, I don't want to have to revisit a season like what we had in 2024 with what we did with quarterback and Joe Burrow.
We got to reflect on the past and look forward to a fun second annual Jungle Jam. We will do that coming up next. Welcome back to Enter the Jungle. He's Andrew Fox Miller. I'm James Rapien. And a special shout out to everyone that came out to Wings and Rings in Beckett Ridge, Westchester last Friday. It was a great time. It was a special training camp preview show. And guess what? We recorded it for you. Check us out on the YouTube channel, Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Really good conversation. And speaking of events, we have a fun one coming up this week as well. Jungle Jam, Newport on the Levee. I'm excited for this one. Bengal Jim does an outstanding job. We were there last year. They raised over $40,000 last year. They hope to get that close again. There's going to be a bunch of Bengals legends, current players, former players. So Sam Hubbard, Andre Yosevich, Zach Taylor, plenty of others will be there. Newport on the Levee. The event is from 12 to 4. 22 Bengal vendors, face painters, magician, Houday mascot. The Bengals will be there. And Andrew, we're going to be there as well.
Yes, we are. Like you said, we had a good time doing this last year. Not going to make any promises we can't keep here, but we may get some content for you all. Maybe talk to some former, current players at this event. We'll be able to use that on our YouTube channel and maybe even on this very show. So yeah, looking forward to 100%. Or maybe it'll just be me walking around getting a bunch of B-roll. Either way, we'll have it covered.
Yeah, we're going to have it covered. We can't wait for it. And hopefully we get some cool stuff for you as well. And if you're going, we'll see you there. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Enter the Jungle. For Andrew Fox Miller, I'm James Rapien. Thank you so much for watching and listening right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.